We're here with Colin and Julie Angus from Angus Adventures, angusadventures.com, right?
That's right.
Excellent. These two people are amazing world travelers. They've done incredible stuff. You read about them last week on our blog. We'll have a link back to the interview for you. We're here at the Outdoor Adventure and Travel Show. It's just been a really interesting, exciting day. Lots of cool stuff. Guys, how have you found it so far?
It's been a great experience. Colin was in the pool, paddling a canoe. We did a talk this morning, and yeah, lots of cool sights here.
How was the pool?
It was scary, but I really enjoyed myself. I was paddling with a happy camper who knows what he's doing, so I felt I was in very safe hands, and we made it out alive, which was pretty good.
Does anything actually still scare you guys at all?
Probably being in a canoe with Colin. It could be scary.
If I'm upwind.
What's your next big adventure? I think you're working on a story around olives, right?
Yep. We just finished an expedition that was researching the history of the olive tree. So we traveled by sailboat throughout the Mediterranean, retracing the route of the ancient mariners, the Phoenicians. And along the way, we searched for ancient olive trees. So trees, they can be like thousands of years old, and we sampled those.
Do you find with the adventuring crew that there's a divide between, you know, the people starting out or the weekend warriors versus like the hardcore all the time kind of people, or is everyone really accepting?
I think everybody respects each other. I mean, they're all the common thread is everybody loves the outdoors and likes to get out there. So I think, and there's a whole spectrum, whether people are just out once a week, you know, doing a little bit of paddling in the backyard, or going out for a couple of months with their friends and, you know, a big long canoe circuit. So it all varies, but I think, you know, the important thing is that, you know, people getting into the outdoors, it's a great way to just, you know, test yourself, get some exercise, and reconnect with nature.
And I think, Julie, that you started adventuring a little bit later than Colin, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grew up pretty much not an athlete or an adventurer. I was an only child, very protective parents, and I wasn't even allowed to play team sports. They were that worried I would hurt myself. And it wasn't until I was in graduate school that I started, you know, questioning these parameters. And when I decided to row across the Atlantic Ocean, it was actually before I met Colin. And yeah, that was a huge step for me. So a lot of things to learn.
Okay, so how did you two meet?
We were met at a bus stop in Vancouver, and we're both heading to the Vancouver Sun Run, which is a 10-kilometer race, and sparked up a conversation, and things went from there.
Okay, so were you already adventuring then by that point?
No, I wasn't. I just finished graduate school. I was working in a biotech company, but I did have this dream to row across the Atlantic Ocean. I was starting to take preparations to do that. And Colin was at the same time planning a trip around the world, and so we ended up doing it together.
Very cool. So for people who are just starting out, they want to try something outside of the usual, really safe sort of adventures. What kind of tips do you have?
Well, there's lots of things that you can do. The most important thing is just to go out there and explore the outdoors and do it safely, do it within your comfort limits. So you don't have to, you know, go out there and go for a week-long camping trip or canoeing trip, but just, you know, take it slowly, step by step.
I think the other thing is just recognizing what your passion is. Some people love running, so, you know, try to incorporate a longer journey that includes running, or if you like being in the water, figuring out a trip where you can go kayaking or canoeing, and just doing things that you're comfortable with. I think that's one thing that can scare people. First time out into the woods, they go with somebody else who's doing something crazy and it's beyond their comfort level, and that puts them off for, you know, a long time. So just, you know, pick what you love doing and stay within your comfort zone.
And what made you guys decide to do stuff that was human-powered as opposed to other forms of transport?
Well, traveling by human power is a great way to explore. Part of the reason is you're traveling so slowly, you're really experiencing the environment around you. So for us, it was just a passion of ours. And so, you know, this trip included cycling, rowing, canoeing, skiing, and yeah, all really great ways to transport yourself.
And I was just going to say, the thing about human power is you feel good when you go for a walk or a jog, and it's just fun. If you're sitting in a tour bus, going for a long distance, start getting sleepy. And I think just being able to go and explore the world, doing this actual activity that keeps you, you know, alert and feeling good is a great part of it all.
Okay, so of your adventures, what's been your favorite so far?
Well, there's There's so many favorites. I don't know. It depends on what you're looking for. I mean, rowing across the Atlantic Ocean is amazing. You get to see a part of the world that is so remote, be immersed in this wild, wild experience. But, you know, rowing on the canals of Europe is incredible as well. It's a beautiful way. They're the ancient roadways, so you're going through these, you know, historic places. And, yeah, there's a lot of favorites. How about you?
Same thing. I mean, you know, each place is special for a different reason. I really enjoyed going through Siberia, just meeting the Siberian people, seeing the hardships they've gone through and are still going through, and how they just endure. They're some of the world's toughest people, but very hospitable. Yeah, I loved going around Vancouver Island. That was one of my more recent journeys, breaking the speed record. A lot of rowing, but at the same time, it's a beautiful part of the world, so great opportunity to just see some of our own backyard.
Excellent. Now, you've been in very hot, very cold climates.
Yep.
What's harder to get through?
I think cold is harder. Logistically, it's a lot more challenging. The worst part of the day in Siberia is waking up when it's minus 50 in your tent, and because it literally was minus 50 without wind chill or anything else, and being in your sleeping bag. You got a down sleeping bag, and you got this condom-like plastic sleeve that you have to sleep inside so that the down doesn't get damp, and you're naked because otherwise your clothes will get all soaked with condensation. So you come out completely naked and dripping into minus 50 and put on your clothes. It's the most horrible time of part of any day, and I dreaded it. I'd be dreading it after I got my clothes on and it was all warmed up. I'd already be dreading the next morning at that point.
Okay, last question. Most beautiful morning either of you have seen?
You know, I think on the Atlantic Ocean, morning was my favorite time. We'd like row throughout the night in 2-hour shifts, and just seeing the water turn from this sort of steely mercury and watching the whole horizon light up. It's pretty amazing. You just look around and see nothing but horizon, water, and sky.
Yeah, I think some of the just watery sunsets are pretty spectacular. Yeah.
Great. Thanks so much, Colin and Julie. AngusAdventures.com. Check them out. Incredible stories. More great stuff coming all the time. And we're so happy to have met with them here at the Outdoor Adventure and Travel Show. Okay, so how did you guys meet?
We were in a sex store, and
Why?
Okay. Cut. Is that really the story?
no.
No, I do. Stop it. Man, I was doing so well. I didn't steal the ball yet. Okay.